Hi everyone,
Hi guys.
welcome. See people are starting to join. If you're joining, please say hi in the chat, do a little bit of a shout out, let us know who you are, where you're from. We're just going to give people a minute to join and then we'll get cracking. So yeah, please say hi to us. We can see you. Hope everyone's looking forward to this event today. It's going to be a good one. Lots of things we're going to discuss today.
Oh, here we go. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, Camillo. Hi, Claire.
It's always nice when you see people.
It's nice to see people. Hi, Sophie. Oh, it's so nice to see people saying hi. Makes it feel like it's more normal.
People are actually here.
Yeah, people are actually here watching us. That's nice. All right, we'll give people just another 10 seconds and then we'll get going. So I know everyone's obviously very conscious on time. We're very conscious to stick to our times as well. We've got a lot to pack in today, so do you want to get going shortly?
I can see someone's joined from India here. That's amazing.
Oh, we've gone international.
Yeah, we're going global.
All right, I think let's get going because I'm keen to get started today. So welcome everyone who's just joined, or if you're still joining, please say hi in the chat. We're going to get started. So we're really excited to have everyone here today to join our masterclass. Had a lot of people interested in this, so hopefully a lot of people are here. So this is our masterclass, TikTok and the beauty industry, the new power couple. First of all, we just need to do a couple of introductions on who we are. So let me just grab that. Just a quick intro on who we are today. My name is Virginia. I'm the head of digital marketing at The Pull Agency. Now, I have lots of experience on TikTok that I'm going to share with you today. And fun fact, I'm actually an official TikTok creator myself with close to 200,000 followers. I really wanted to get to 200,000 before today, but I think I'm on something like 196, 197. So if all of you could just follow me, that'd be great. Sadly though, my TikTok account isn't about beauty. I do content with my dog, Lulu. So we do a bit of a comedy routine. And let's be honest, like Lulu is the real star of my TikTok account. No one really cares about me. But yeah, if you'd like to see some comedy videos and you'd like to look at dog videos, then please go follow me. You'll find me at Virginia Gertz. Let me hand over to my colleague, Ben.
Thanks, Virginia. Yeah, hi guys, I'm Ben. I'm the content and social media manager for Pull. Sadly, I'm not a TikTok creator like Virginia, but I do work with our clients on a range of things on TikTok, from simply setting up an account and getting started through to the creation and delivery of TikTok strategies, as well as TikTok ad campaigns, again, from the wider strategy to the kind of execution and day-to-day running and optimization of those. I'll be talking you through some bits around influencers and TikTok ad campaigns a little bit later on in the session.
Great. So that's us. So we're here today to present to you. Now, I just really want to give you a quick introduction on who the Pull Agency are. Now, because, just showing you slides is a bit boring, we've actually created a little video to explain who the Pull Agency are. So there's going to be sound coming out of your machines in just a second, so you might want to turn it down a little bit if it's quite loud, but let me show you who the Pull Agency are. hopefully with that video, it is very clear that we are health and beauty experts. And what we're here today to show you is how to be successful on TikTok in the beauty space. So, as I said, we are a health and beauty specialist agency with direct access to TikTok's ad platform and the creator marketplace. What this means is we can run your campaigns for you through the TikTok Ads Manager, just like we would do with Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, etc. We can also help install the TikTok Pixel and help with any integration setup to track e-commerce. We also have the ability to start conversations directly with TikTok influencers who may be right for your brand's campaign. Now, if any of you have any questions throughout the presentation today, please do pop them into the Q&A box and we will leave 10 minutes at the end to answer any questions. We'll also follow up today's presentation with a how to get started guide on TikTok for you to follow. And if you'd like to speak to me and my Ben on a more one-to-one basis, we would absolutely love to get a meeting booked in with you. So please do feel like you can reach out to us. And with that, let's get started. So we're going to get into the good stuff first, all about the facts and the figures. Now, this is the part where you all need to be frantically scribbling down all the juicy stats I'm about to show you. Don't worry, we will have a recording to show you if you don't keep up. Now, obviously, TikTok is a very popular app, and I wouldn't be here today talking to you about it if it wasn't still such a hot topic. Now, TikTok actually had its breakout year in 2019 with 717 million downloads globally during that year. But it wasn't until 2020 that it managed to surpass all other applications to become the most downloaded and highest grossing app, with now over 2.6 billion downloads globally. So what's the big deal with TikTok? Why are so many people on it? Let me share some information with you. Firstly, the real barrier for brands is not whether their audiences use TikTok or not. It's whether the brand is creative and agile enough to create content for it. Anything can become viral on TikTok. It's about how entertaining and creative the content is. Now, with this in mind, brands might have to challenge their traditional mindset to release their creativity. That might seem quite harsh, but TikTok is a channel that demands entertainment. And for some brands, this can be really difficult to communicate, especially if you're a more mature focused brand. However, the stats I'm going to show you are going to hopefully knock a few myths and get you seeing the bigger picture. Don't forget, once upon a time, Instagram was the app for the young'uns. I bet at least 95% of you here have your brand on Instagram or are at least on it yourself. So let's start with the history of TikTok. It first started out in 2014, but under the different name, Musical.ly. Hopefully a lot of you remember Musical.ly. This was the year that Musical.ly launched in Shanghai, and it was originally a lip-syncing app for short-form video content. It had quite strong connections to the US market, making it very desirable for future investors. In 2016, Chinese giants ByteDance, they liked the look of Musical.ly and they created a similar app called Douyin. This was only launched to the Chinese market. In 2018, ByteDance decided that Musical.ly was onto something and wanted to expand under a different brand, TikTok. So they bought Musical.ly and thus began TikTok's global expansion. In 2020, COVID hit and the phenomenon that is TikTok happened. And finally here in 2021, TikTok is predicted to become the highest revenue generating app. Currently the top spot is Tinder. So that's all well and good, and like I said earlier, TikTok has over 2.6 billion downloads globally. But what does that actually look like as far as an active monthly user? You can see here the significant growth that TikTok has had over the last couple of years, now reaching to over 800 million active users worldwide. By the end of 2020, TikTok has seen a 58% uplift in monthly active users from 2019. Now you'll see here there's a bit of a dip in Q3 2020, and this is when all the drama was happening where India got banned from the app, and of course Donald Trump was then threatening to ban TikTok in the US as well. Thankfully, this never happened in the US, and President Biden has dropped any cases against TikTok. It is also predicted that TikTok will reach 1 billion monthly active users by the end of this year. So let's have a look at how these monthly active users are broken down by region. There are 110 million active users in North America, and there are over 100 million in Europe. The UK has 17 million active users currently. Now, the UK saw a 70% uplift in new TikTok users from 2019. The US actually saw a more significant uplift, the 133% increase. So you can see it's certainly an app to be on and it's very, very popular across the globe. The other thing is users are spending way more time on TikTok than any other social app. You can see here on this chart that there are countries that are spending 60 minutes or more viewing content on TikTok. Actually, what's really weird here is Norway in particular are super engaged and spending an average of 74 minutes per day. Don't know why, maybe it's just the long days. I think the reason though for TikTok's audience being super engaged is because of the algorithm. It's unlike any other social app. If a user likes, comments, or shares a video, the algorithm adds more value to videos like that, meaning that you are served more of that content. If, however, you don't watch a video to the end, or you report it, or you say you're not interested in it, TikTok will stop showing you content like that. Now, there is this myth that TikTok is just for Gen Z. I've got to say, this is something that really grates on me. It's the main reason I really wanted to hold this event today, more than anything. As an influencer myself on the platform and someone in my early 30s, I mean, if you think I look like a 20s, that's even better. Most of the content I see is from people my age. Now, obviously, the algorithms tailor to me, but I can actually prove to you that the platform has got an older audience than you might think. 32% of global TikTok users are aged between 25 and 34, and 35% of users are aged over the age of 35. That is 67% of TikTok users over the age of 25 using the platform. Now, TikTok is aging up and quite quickly. The brands that do well are those that are there to capitalize as the audience expands further. Don't miss out on TikTok because you think that your audience aren't there yet. Dominate the space and be the leaders. The other reason why I think you want to consider TikTok as a platform for your brand is because engagement rates here are like no other social platform. As I said earlier, to be successful on TikTok, you need to be creative, but you don't have to be think outside the box creative. It just has to be entertaining, relatable, or meaningful. Look, if I can go viral with my dog pressing her snout up against my face, I think that you guys can go viral too. Now, the average engagement rate on TikTok is 17.5%, whereas Instagram is 4.4%. So you can see it's a huge, huge difference here. Now, engagement rates do vary across the following sites that you have. As of yet, there is no data that's published that shows accurate engagement rates by category. So I can only show you engagement rates by total following. Screen is frozen. Let's just get that clicking. There we go. So you can see here that accounts that have a following under 20,000 have quite high engagement rates. Now, like other social channels, the number declines with the more followers you get. But this isn't actually the case with TikTok. When you get above 500,000, the number actually jumps back up again. And this is likely because that content doesn't ever fall out of popularity on TikTok. Content gets recycled again and again, no matter whether you did it a week ago or 5 months ago, something that the other social apps don't do. On Instagram, you will typically see lower engagement rates with accounts that have a higher number of followers. And that's why most brands opt to use micro-influencers for campaigns instead. Now, like I said earlier, I can't show you TikTok engagement rates by category as they don't exist yet. But what I do want to show you are the engagement rates in beauty across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, what's really interesting about this graph is that there is a steady decline across all three platforms in that beauty space. Instagram in particular seeing a sharper drop from 2019, almost down 30% versus the previous year. Now, I think that these platforms are struggling in particular because brands and creators put less effort into their content creation on these channels than they do on super creative platforms like TikTok and YouTube. Another big factor is that both TikTok and YouTube are video-based platforms. Of course, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, they have video capabilities, but they were ultimately an image or copy-based platform to begin with. Now, if I say to all of you, what image pops to your mind when you think about Instagram and beauty content? Just have a think what comes to mind. I'm going to show you what comes to my mind when I get asked that question. This is beautiful flat lays, or as an influencer holding or wearing a product in a glossy staged photo. And that's my point. Instagram is great for those beautiful images, beautifully staged product photos, beautiful people. It's a bit like a fashion magazine. It's glossy, it's aspirational, it's inspirational, and it's certainly not a platform that's going to disappear anytime soon. Users still want to see this sort of content, and they still need a place to go to post their own aspirational self. It's just that we, as users, interact less with content like this, which is why Instagram introduced video features such as Stories, IGTV, and Reels. So with that, let's have a quick look at TikTok versus Reels. Now, according to research done by Social Media Today, the average views on TikTok and Instagram are actually not that far off. In fact, you can see here that Reels pulls slightly ahead. However, it's the engagement metrics where TikTok takes the lead. Let's take a look at this. Average likes and average comments are much higher than Reels. And this is because of one key difference between the two platforms. TikTok is about community, Reels isn't. Instagram is a network base, while TikTok is content oriented. This means that Instagram users will mainly see content from their family and friends, whereas TikTok will show lots of content from people you don't know. Instagram promotes video content on its platform with people that use Reels. So I don't know if you guys have tried this, but if you post a Reels video, that gets you way more views than it would do a normal image. And that's just it. That's what Instagram are doing. They're trying to push this, and that's why the impressions are so much higher. But that doesn't mean it generates engagement. And this is where TikTok has the edge. There's a much stronger community on that platform, and they are far more engaged with the content. So the real question is, why TikTok for brands? Well, firstly, the consistent high engagement and visibility. Content on TikTok is served to users over a number of weeks. Unlike other channels, TikTok doesn't demote older content. Instead, it will keep showing to users who engage with similar content. So it doesn't matter if your content is 3 months old, you'll still be getting likes and follows from it. The other one here is that brand recall is at an all-time high. Now, TikTok is best for brand awareness. This L'Oreal Men Expert campaign was running, which was a hashtag campaign called Style Like an Expert, which challenged users to showcase their daily grooming routine with a creative, interesting video. Now, L'Oreal collaborated with 5 popular creators with a large following to kickstart the campaign, giving it mass appeal and a huge boost in reach. This campaign saw 191,000 UGC entries and generated over 240 million video views. It also saw a brand uplift of 23%. Now, brand tracking is very, very important. And actually, TikTok just released yesterday, they are working with brand partners. This is also something that we, the Pull Agency, are very, very invested in with our brand tracking tools as well. So we don't like to run big campaigns without understanding how it has impacted a brand. Number 3, a large number of users are choosing to exclusively consume video content on TikTok over other channels. Now, this is interesting because although video content is huge everywhere, TikTok seems to be dominating the short form video content space, despite competitors like Instagram being present in this area on stories for, 2-3 years at least. And finally, 50% of TikTok users share someone else's video on another social network. Why is that important? Well, it's because as a brand, you're effectively getting free advertising. TikTok videos get shared far more than videos posted onto Instagram. It's similar to how someone might share a Reddit clip or a YouTube. I'm sure plenty of you here have been sent a TikTok video in your WhatsApp group. How many of you get sent a Reels? You know, it's the difference. So with that, I just want to quickly talk you through a couple of key pointers on how to get started on TikTok. Now, I put this guide together for brands looking to get going on TikTok but didn't quite know how to. It can be scary, there's a lot of effort that's involved, so this was something to kind of make you feel comfortable with it. Now, due to the timings of this presentation today, I've had to cut this guide down to just my top 3. There are actually 8 areas included in the guide, which we'll be sending to you after this presentation. So the 3 I want to talk to you about today are brand purpose, knowing trends, and finding the right sound. So number 1, tell me, why was your brand created in the first place? Now, this might seem like such a basic question and kind of a weird one to ask when we're discussing how to be successful on TikTok. But if you struggle to answer it, you're going to struggle to fit in on TikTok. The first thing you need to do is identify your brand foundations. Can you answer any of these following questions? What makes your brand distinct? What is your brand story? What's your tone of voice? What's your brand's personality? Why is your brand here? I'm sure a lot of you can answer these, but if there are any of these questions you can't answer in detail, that is the step 1 to getting started. This is something you absolutely must be clear on so you know how to then apply this to a platform like TikTok. Now, TikTok is best for brand awareness and storytelling. It's all about getting creative and driving brand awareness and consideration. TikTok enables your brand to have a voice, a personality, and it's a place to tell your story. This is your platform to be a bit different and be a bit edgy. Now, there are some brand owners and senior management that find this difficult to understand. So show them content from the likes of Elf Cosmetics, Crocs, Gymshark, and Boohoo. These are all brands that are nailing it. Later in this presentation, Ben is also going to talk you through some other accounts that are also smashing it on TikTok. So these are just more examples for you to show other people in your team. Spotting the trends and getting involved. And this is quite important. So you can find trending hashtags under the Discovery tab. So if you guys all have TikTok right now, open it up, go to the Discovery tab, flick through it. You'll see a whole bunch of stuff in there that's trending. This is where you can see what people are reacting to and creating. Now, there are usually roughly 20 popular hashtags to choose from on this Discovery tab, but also do some of your own research to see what other hashtags there are. I would say if you find a hashtag that has over 20 million views, that's usually pretty trendy. Anything with over 1 billion should really already be on the Discovery tab. Now, trending hashtags do last for a couple of weeks, so don't panic if you can't create something that day. Remember, TikTok recycles content for months. I'm still seeing posts from people doing the Wipe It Down challenge from summer last year, which, by the way, I also did one. Please go look at it and like it. Now, the next point here is super important. Some of your posts will flop. That is completely normal on this platform. Actually, it's been said that around 30% of your posts will be successful. So don't feel disheartened if your posts have lower engagement rates or views than others. And finally, there is no right or wrong answer on how many posts you should do per week. The key is to remain consistent. However, I will say if you are just starting out on TikTok, you do need to be on it more so than not. So I would say in the beginning, you want to be posting anywhere from 4 to 6 posts per week. I mean, ideally daily, but that's sometimes a bit unachievable. Do also try to post once a day as opposed to posting multiple times a day. From my own personal experience, posting multiple times a day just doesn't seem to work very well. And I've also seen that on other accounts that we also look after. So don't worry about posting 3 times in one day. Spread it out over the course of the week. TikTok would rather see 1 great video than see 3 mediocre ones. Now, the next slide I'm going to show you is about finding the right sound. The video in this is going to play some music first, so I'll let that play and then I'll talk after. Again, this is another video that I've created stuff to. This is the violin transition. Now, finding the right sound for your brand is really important for your success on TikTok. Don't forget, TikTok was born from Musical.ly. So music and sound is a big, big deal on the platform. So how you go about finding sound is relatively easy. You can see what is trending again via the Discovery tab. Or if you're scrolling through your For You page and you find a sound you like, you can click on that sound and see what other videos are connected to it, which is what you're seeing here in this video. Another great way, this is actually a great way to discover what is popular and how other creators have used that sound. This will also give you just more ideas on how you might be able to use it for your brand as well. Now, because I am a creator, I actually receive weekly newsletters before anyone else, which shows me what sounds are popular and which sounds are going to be released soon. I actually knew all about the Bella Porch sound before anyone else did, because I'm part of the creator kind of newsletter group. So this can be quite handy for our clients because obviously we can see things before anyone else does. If you actually switch your account to a pro account, whether that's your personal one or your brand one, you do need to have over 100 followers first. There is a section in the analytics which tells you which tracks your followers have listened to in the past 7 days, and that can be quite handy as well. Some brands also do have the ability to create your own sound, and if you do, that's great. But to be honest, look, if you can't, don't panic. Get started first by creating videos with the trending tunes instead. So how can beauty brands show up on TikTok? Well, be proactive. Don't be afraid of starting the trend instead of following it. If it flops, don't worry. Like I said, only 30% of posts are actually going to be successful in the first place. Be fun. Beauty gives people an excuse to be silly and make others smile. You don't have to wait until Halloween or Christmas to create those extreme looks. Think about how your products could be used in a fun or silly way to get people engaged with your brand's personality. Be personal. Challenges offer users a chance to be seen and feel validated. This is also a great way to generate UGC and offer some dynamic content on your profile. Be native. Playful is better than polished. Don't always shoot your content on a fancy camera. A mobile phone is perfectly acceptable for this platform. And finally, be inclusive. I'm sure all of you already know this and do this, but of course, all skin colors, sizes, conditions are all welcome. There is a huge community of inclusivity on TikTok, and brands that do best are those that are the most welcoming. So next up, we're going to talk about influencers in the TikTok creator marketplace. And this is something that Ben is going to talk you through.
Brilliant. Thanks, Virginia. So we've looked at why TikTok's a big deal and some tips and tricks for getting started. Next, we're going to look at the role of influencers, or creators as TikTok insists on calling them, and how you can work with them to amplify your brand on TikTok. With the influencer industry predicted to be worth over $10 billion this year, let's start by looking at a few stats about influencers in general and the impact they can have. So firstly, 61% of consumers say they have been influenced to purchase because of an influencer. Now, this probably isn't breaking news, but the power influencers continue to wield is huge. 70% of consumers believe it's important for influencers to be authentic about the brand they represent. Now, this point is especially relevant to TikTok. Authenticity, honesty, and rawness are key to the platform's success. The reasons you work with an influencer are because you want to benefit from their reach and their impact. So be mindful not to compromise their authenticity or stifle their creativity when you're creating a brief. Now, 60% of users also say they don't mind if an ad comes from an influencer they follow. Again, this is where influencers really have the edge. When a brand runs paid social ads, for example, it can feel intrusive to users or out of place. Influencers don't have that problem. They're an accepted part of the platform. Having said that, 50% of users are using ad blockers. Users are savvier than ever about their data and how they're tracked, even more so in the wake of iOS 14. But with influencers, this is a great way for brands to get around that. They can still get their brand, get their product in front of users without having to rely on, say, paid advertising or other channels. So if you didn't already know, I think those stats made it pretty clear that influencers are good and they're still a big deal. Now I want to look specifically at the role they play on TikTok. So as I said earlier, they're known as creators on TikTok, and for good reason. TikTok creators differ from traditional influencers in that they're more performative, more lighthearted. Handily, TikTok have done a lot of the legwork for brands by pulling all of these creators together into one space, known as the creator marketplace. Now, with the TikTok creator marketplace, brands can easily identify and select creators to promote their product. The difference versus a regular influencer campaign is that the creator is involved from a very early stage, from conceptualization and brief through to the development and production of the content. For brands, this opens up new opportunities to create and share original content that they may not otherwise have the resource for, the time for, or even the understanding of the platform to really create something that's going to work. In fact, TikTok compares its creators to creative directors, which may sound a little crazy, but actually they do have that same depth of creative vision and creative flair. The advantage they have, however, is a really deep level of understanding and insight into the TikTok platform and how that works. So on that, I'm just going to dive into the TikTok creator marketplace in a little bit more detail and look at how that works. Here we go. So there are thousands of influencers and creators to choose from. TikTok used to tell us how many of these creators there were. There's now too many. They don't reveal that. It's safe to say it's thousands around the globe. We do know there are around 5,000 based in the UK. You can filter creators that you want to work with in a bunch of different ways. That includes things like the country they're located in, the number of followers they've got, average views, the age, gender, location of their audience, and probably most importantly, by industry. So as an example, if you were to filter by beauty, there are around 7,300 creators. If you were to filter by fashion, 4,500. And if you were to filter by health, around 500 creators. And obviously these numbers are growing all the time. Having a look at a creator profile, once you've filtered it and narrowed it down, you know which industry, you know what kind of followers they want, what age, where they're located, all this kind of stuff. We then want to pick an influencer and a creator to work with. So clicking into one of these creators gives you even more detail, so you can make sure they're absolutely the right creator for your campaign. Now, the most important stat to look at is the average engagement rate. So followers are great, but what use are 1 million followers if they're not engaging? Engagement rate is king, it always is. In this example, we've picked one of the Roberts sisters, Abby Roberts. The Roberts sisters are, as you know, huge makeup influencers all over TikTok. You can see she's got an engagement rate of over 21%, and that's with a large following of 16.5 million, as Virginia mentioned earlier. Just because you've got lots of followers on TikTok, that doesn't mean you're going to see the decrease in engagement rate that you might see on other channels. You'll also want to look at average views per video. Again, in this example, we can see Abby averages around 1.5 million views per video. Now, if these numbers seem big, it's because they are. But keep in mind, influencer engagement rates are way higher than on any other social platform. For example, on Instagram, influencer engagement rates are around 5%. So you can see the difference is huge. So if you're looking to make waves with a new audience or show off how creative your brand is, TikTok and the creator marketplace is the perfect way to do it. So we've looked at influencers, which can be a really great way for brands to get started and raise their profile on the platform. Another way to kickstart things on TikTok is through advertising. Now, I'm going to talk you through some of the campaign options and formats. We're not going to look at all of these things like branded effects and lead gen forms. We're going to park those for another time. We've picked out what we think are the most effective and most common campaign types. If you're sat there thinking, why should I advertise on TikTok over Instagram, over Google, over Facebook? I want to start with a quick chart. This chart was from some research done by Global Web Index earlier this year. What it shows us is that TikTok users are actually far more likely to purchase beauty products than non-TikTok users. For example, we can see that TikTok users are 25% more likely to have bought makeup in the past month. The platform presents a huge opportunity for brands, and TikTok ads are a really great way to get your products and brand out there. So let's look at some of the campaign options. In-feed ads are the first type we're going to look at. Now, these are similar to the sorts of ads you may have run yourself or certainly seen on other channels like Instagram and Facebook. These sit on the For You page of TikTok users. Campaign options include things like brand awareness objectives, website traffic, through to conversions, whether that's a product purchase, a newsletter sign up, or even a report download. We can choose who to target based on things like interests, behaviors and demographics. Now, interests includes all the sorts of stuff you'd expect, but actually where TikTok has the edge for beauty brands is that it's got a really, really rich, deep range of beauty interests to target from. That's everything from oral care through to nail art. Behaviors are also a really, really good way of filtering your audience based on the content or creators they've actually engaged with. This includes content such like TikTok staples like lip syncs and comedy, all the way through to categories like oddly satisfying. So you can get a really detailed audience profile here. Make sure you've installed your TikTok tracking pixel to get better data on your campaign and drive more effective spend of your budget and better overall ROI. And just to give you an idea of the sort of results you can expect, these campaigns are really great for driving engagement. The engagement rate benchmark is around 5%, and the click-through rate is between 1% and 3%. If you've run any other kind of ad campaigns on other social networks, these numbers are pretty high compared to some other channels. Next up, we've got the brand takeover. Now, these are the first thing you'll see when you open up TikTok. So if you've ever used the app, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. They're high impact, full screen videos that open up the moment you fire up the app. Typically, they're 3 to 5 seconds long and they have no audio with them. They're bought per day and shown between 3 and 5 times throughout the duration of the day. And brands usually see between a 7 and 10% click-through rate on these campaigns. You can roughly expect to reach around 7 million people, and these are really good for generating that important brand awareness or creating a buzz around a new product. Next up, we've got the Top View campaign. Now, these are essentially just a fancier, bigger, better version of the brand takeover ad. The key difference is they can be up to a minute long and they do include audio. Users do have the option to skip after 5 seconds. These ads are again bought per day and shown between 3 to 5 times throughout the duration of the day. And click-through rates here are really, really strong, around 10 to 15%. If those click-through rates aren't good enough for you, they also come with the option of including a native landing page within TikTok. So again, really, really good for creating a buzz, generating that awareness, but also when you're at that consider phase of the sales funnel, giving users maybe a bit more info about your product with that landing page. Next up is the hashtag challenge. Now, hashtag challenges are easily the campaigns we get asked about most often because their potential is huge. They're large-scale campaigns with the aim of going viral. They generate mass exposure and attention around your brand by inviting users to generate content with a theme. With a hashtag challenge, you get a branded banner and featured hashtag trend on the Discover page, as well as a top view ad and a native landing page. Now, the reason these are so successful is probably because they're the most distinctive ad format for TikTok. They tap into everything that's great and unique about the platform, that creativity and that potential to go viral. Again, these are costed per day, and because they're so effective, the cost of these is much higher. So you typically only want to run a hashtag challenge for around 1 to 2 days, especially when you consider everything that's included with it. I mentioned cost there, and you're probably thinking, yeah, what does all this cost? What's this going to cost my brand? What I'm going to show you next is a rough rate card for some of the ad formats discussed. This is an example of what you might expect to spend. All of these rates are set by TikTok with the exception of in-feed ads. These are purchased through the self-serve ad platform on TikTok, and these can start at whatever budget you want. Typically, we recommend around £2,500 for a 4-week campaign. However, if you're running your first campaign, we'd suggest doubling that budget. Spend around £5,000, run a 6 to 8 week campaign. What this will do is give you plenty of time to budget and experiment, understand how the audience is interacting and engaging, what works, what doesn't, and get some kind of really important ad benchmarks. I can't talk about TikTok ads and beauty without touching on social commerce. TikTok was probably quicker than any other social network in realizing the potential to monetize the platform. In fact, shopping on TikTok rose 553% in the past 12 months, driven by things like the TikTok made me buy it hashtag. With China's version of TikTok, Douyin, that Virginia mentioned earlier, generating the majority of its income and generating the majority of its income from in-app commerce rather than ads, it's no surprise to hear TikTok is developing more tools to drive revenue on the platform. Last year, we saw the introduction of the Shopify TikTok integration, and this year they've announced 3 other tools they're testing to drive revenue. The first one is a tool that lets users share product links and awards them a slice of commission on those sales. The next one is a product catalog showcase. So this is similar to the product catalog ads and the shops you may have seen on Facebook and Instagram. It lets brands hook up their product catalog and promote these on TikTok. L'Oreal actually became one of the first brands to test these with their Garnier and NYX brands. The third tool is essentially QVC for Gen Z. We've got live stream shopping coming to TikTok. It's a mobile version of television shopping channels where shoppers can buy goods from users' live streams within just a few taps. So last year, TikTok saw a 10-fold increase in the amount of beauty content consumed on the platform. It's fair to say TikTok and beauty go hand in hand. So what we're going to do now is look at some examples of brands who've already harnessed that power of TikTok and are absolutely smashing it. We've got 3 examples to walk you through, all slightly different beauty brands, but all doing really good things on TikTok. We're going to start with e.l.f. Cosmetics. Now, e.l.f. do a really good job on TikTok. They're a great reference point for any brands wanting to get started on the platform. They initially launched their account as a specific destination for Gen Z, and they are real TikTok trendsetters. In this example, we're going to look at their eyes, lips, face hashtag challenge. What they wanted was a campaign to increase awareness with Gen Z. The idea was to tap into everything that's great about TikTok. The campaign needed to be dance-worthy, sing-worthy, share-worthy, all those things that scream TikTok. They asked users to film themselves showing off their eyes, lips, face, and encouraging self-expression. Now, the real genius of this campaign was combining it with their own original sound. Instead of licensing a song, they created their own bespoke sound to be paired with the campaign hashtag. Its simple, catchy lyrics helped the campaign spread like wildfire. Celebs like Lizzo and Reese Witherspoon even got in on the act. Now, hashtag challenges, as I've mentioned, are one of the campaign types we get asked about the most. And with the results of this campaign, it's really not hard to see why. It became the most viral campaign in TikTok history, the fastest ever campaign to reach 1 billion views, and eventually generated over 7 billion views. Almost 5 million user-generated videos off the back of the campaign, and praise all over the place. And that's not all. TikTok is the first default sound-on social channel. So as you'd expect, that bespoke track that they created was also integral to the campaign's success and became a hit in its own right, becoming so popular that it racked up more than 20 million streams on Spotify and iTunes. Our next example is Starface. So it's not just mega brands that are having all the fun on TikTok. A really good example is Starface. They're an upstart beauty brand offering acne and skincare products. They define their marketing strategy as extremely online. So TikTok is a huge part of it. If you've seen these guys on social, you'll know about it. Their packaging is really bright, distinctive, and instantly recognizable. Now, rather than pay for a load of influencer campaigns or TikTok advertising, they decided to host a content creation event, inviting influencers to its own TikTok house where they could come, hang out, post videos featuring the Starface products. The result of this is that now their brand is used by Gen Z all over the world. Their unique packaging continues to lend itself really nicely to organic TikTok content from users, and their products are used and featured by some of the platform's biggest influencers. Starface never paid anything other than the cost of that house for one day and the cost of free product. They've never paid for an influencer partnership. For brands not keen to give over to the more user-generated nature of the platform, it can sometimes feel like TikTok is a difficult fit. But for those already tapping into that scrappier Gen Z mindset, it really is a brilliant match. Now, the final example here is The Ordinary. These are always one of our favorites at Pull, and a really good example of organic success on TikTok and how it can drive product sales. Now, they initially got a bit of a leg up. One TikTok user's review of their peeling solution went viral, driving over 52,000 unit sales and a waiting list of almost 110,000 people on Cult Beauty. Where The Ordinary really won, however, was spotting this and reacting quickly and realizing the potential of TikTok. It started to use its staff already familiar with the platform as brand champions, posting content. And they were really able to capitalize on that initial video's success. Since then, their brand hashtag, The Ordinary, has gained almost 400 million views without any paid support whatsoever. So TikTok's unique algorithm means brands using the platform's organic tools like hashtags have a chance to really see a big impact quickly. Those were just 3 examples, and Virginia's going to talk through a case study of our own in a second, but what I want to leave you with are some more general points for beauty brands. So firstly, perfection is passé. So beauty used to be about looking perfect, perfectly airbrushed, perfectly filtered, perfectly posed. Not anymore. Gen Z have rejected that Instagram aesthetic. That's kind of behind the rise of TikTok. These new tribes are cultivating their own ideas of beauty, not following kind of someone else's opinion on what we used to think beauty was. Beauty on TikTok is all about creativity and joy, not perfection. Secondly, the process is more important than results. Seeing a pretty face is nice, but discovering how someone transformed themselves to achieve that look is fascinating. For users, watching that process unfold brings them into the story. It lets them peek behind the beauty curtain, and it actually makes everything more attainable, tangible, and real. It's empowering in a way that simply showing a finished look can be demotivating or demoralizing. How am I ever going to achieve that? Well, here you go. On TikTok, we'll show you how. Lastly, beauty is storytelling, and it's important to remember this. On TikTok, it's not just the makeup that matters most, it's the story behind it. We've got makeup masters and skinfluencers sharing all their secrets, creating a really inclusive vibe on the platform where beauty is attainable for everyone through things like tutorials, advice, and how-tos. Now I'm going to pass you back to Virginia, who's going to talk you through a case study of our own on TikTok.
Thanks. So I just really quickly want to talk you through one of our case studies with Tangle Teaser, where we ran an ad campaign that reached 500,000 consumers. Now, quick introduction, Tangle Teezer are a hairbrush brand. They're in the detangling category, which is the category they created. This next bit is really hard to say, so I'm going to say it slowly. Their patented two-tiered teeth technology gently detangles all hair types, which minimizes damage. Now, the typical consumers are 25 plus, but they were looking to reach a younger audience. Tangle Teezer were launching a new hairbrush called the Easy Dry and Go, which was a product specifically aimed towards a younger audience. They wanted to generate buzz and excitement, so engagement rates were key to success. So how could Tangle Teezer create interest and be creative to an audience who don't engage with adverts? Our answer was TikTok. Now, Tangle Teezer's objective was simple: get brand awareness and generate high engagement rates to a younger audience. So of course it had to be TikTok. As a health and beauty TikTok specialist agency, we have the ability to run ad campaigns on the TikTok newsfeed. The challenge was having the right creative. Running adverts on TikTok is different to other platforms. Your content really must fit in with the native content, otherwise engagement rates will suffer. Now, Tangle Teezer already had a professionally shot promotional video, which was to run on their Instagram page. And we liked the look of this, but we felt that it needed some more native looking content to test, which would work better. So we asked Tangle Teezer to edit the professional videos to show a countdown timer as part of the Easy Dry and Go brush's USP, which was its quick drying power. We also worked with Tangle Teezer's influencers to produce simple 20-second tutorials to demonstrate the product, another popular piece of content on this platform. We ran 4 videos in total, 2 influencers and 2 branded. Of course, our influencer videos outperformed the branded ones, cementing our belief that to be successful on TikTok, you must work with influencers. The influencer videos were more native to the platform. They had that raw, unedited look. The professionally shot videos were stunning, but they were just too polished for the platform. Now, our goal was to create engagement and interest amongst Gen Z, and our influencer ads saw engagement rates of over 10% with this audience group. These were the final creators that we ran for the campaign. We used 2 men and 2 women to also do further testing, as of course, a hairbrush can be used by anyone who's got hair. As TikTok and most social platforms skew more towards women, we actually did see that our female videos outperformed the males. The results speak for themselves, and we ran this campaign for just 2 weeks. In that time, we achieved 530,000 impressions to our Gen Z audience. We achieved a 10% average engagement rate on our ad campaign. And despite this campaign being optimized for brand awareness, we additionally sent across over 2,000 sessions to the site. Tangle Teezer also gained 230 new TikTok followers off the back of this campaign. And guys, guess what? That's a wrap. So I just want to leave you with 3 key takeaways. Ben and I have talked you through a lot of stuff today. So I just want to give you 3 things in case your mind is completely frazzled. Number 1, get on TikTok if you're not on it already. I would highly recommend your brand secures their brand handle before someone else does. And then just start playing around on the app. Get to know the content, learn the trends, and most importantly, learn the lingo. Number 2, don't expect results right away. And this is a big one. And this is a really hard one for people in like our position that have to then report to board members, stakeholders, because people are thinking they're spending money, they should get results. It doesn't quite work like that unless you're running an ad campaign. Remember, be consistent and it will pay off, I promise. I can't give you a timeline on when it will take off. For me, I can tell you, for me personally, it took me 7 months before my content properly got picked up. But if you're already an established brand, you may see results quicker as you stay consistent. Also, do use your other social channels to kind of push people to your TikTok profile. Finally, if you're still not sure that TikTok is right for your brand, do a test and learn with some TikTok ads and see what content works for you. You can use this data to help build your TikTok strategy and content development. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Hopefully this has been a successful event for you. We will be sending out our full TikTok guide after this event, plus this recording. If you have any questions or you'd like to book a meeting with us, then we'd absolutely love to hear from you. So now it's over to our Q&A section for the next few minutes. We've got about 9 minutes to go through some questions. We unfortunately won't have time to go through everything. So if I don't answer, or if we don't answer your question today, please do get in touch with us and book a meeting to discuss further. You can also find myself and Ben, of course, on LinkedIn, as well as the Pull Agency as well, if you'd like to connect with us. So I'm just going to open up my Q&A box. All right, let's have a look. Firstly, is there a best entry strategy on TikTok? Through ads, you could like do ads. That's probably like the quickest thing to see results straight away. If you didn't want to spend the money on doing advertising, then I'd say the best entry is just to start seeing what works. Start posting some content, like do your research, start having a look on the discovery tab, what's trending as the hashtags, what's the popular sound, get to learn what's happening, and then start trialing some videos that way and see what works. The thing I will suggest is, because when you first get onto TikTok, you'll get something like 50 views, maybe 100 views. You know, these are obviously very low numbers to begin with. Don't be put off. Like I said, it will take time, but do have a look at the percentage increases between the videos you continue to post on there, and just see like what the uplift is and try to figure out if that's, you know, something you want to be looking for or not.
I think as well, a really important thing to do is get on there and look for mentions of your brand, see how other users are talking about your brand, your product on the platform already. What content are people producing around it? And look at your competitors as well. Have a look at what they're doing, what's working for them. And yeah, kind of really, Virginia said it in the takeaway there, the best entry strategy at the moment is just get on there and do it. Don't wait.
Yeah. Somebody's on here. Regarding sounds to choose, what if you only have a business sound due to copyrights? I mean, there are lots of sounds you can use. I'm not really sure. What if you only have business sounds?
I say yes, those stock audio.
Yeah, like, I mean, there are loads of sounds to choose from, like hundreds, thousands, like loads. So you shouldn't have an issue with copyright. Obviously, if you're running ad campaigns, obviously you do have to be careful. So when running an ad campaign, have a look first on the TikTok platform, like organic. I mean, to be honest, if you're working with us, we would check this for you. But if you're doing it yourself, have a look on the platform and see kind of if your sound is on there, the one that you want to go with your advert. If it is, then it's fine. You can use it because it's already a part of the TikTok library. If, however, it's not on there or you can't find it, then that would be a red flag. I wouldn't use it. Otherwise, there isn't really too much restrictions. There's so much sound to choose from. Like the library on TikTok is massive. But if you are concerned, this is something where you might want to work with an agency like us or whoever to find out if the sound is available for you. Let's look at this one. Can brands access all different kinds of sound and music? Okay, we've sort of kind of just answered that one, so we'll skip over that. You can do this one if you want, Ben.
Yeah, does the viewer have to watch the whole TikTok content for it to count as a view? Yes, they do. That's where things differ slightly from some other channels. I remember back in the day, Facebook was counting views as 2 seconds at one point. Yes, they have to watch the whole part of the content.
What I will say on that though, if people don't watch past 50%, TikTok will assume you're not interested in that type of content. So as a user, as a TikTok user, I wouldn't necessarily get served more of that content because I haven't watched it all the way through or liked it or commented or shared it. If someone watched it all the way through, then, you know, I as a user will get more of that content. So for you as a brand, it doesn't matter so much. Like you want the people to watch all the way through because then they'll see more of your content, which is great. But yeah, as a user, you need to watch at least 50% for it to count if it's part of what you're interested in. What's this one here? You mentioned a self-serve tool for in-feed ads. Does this mean that the other ad types have to be done through TikTok marketing or kind of? Yeah, so at the moment, brands and agencies, we can only run ads ourselves through the in-feed ads. All other ones, so the takeover, the top view, the hashtag challenge, all of that has to be done through TikTok. So we have an account manager at TikTok who we work with, who gives us kind of all the insights, all the information, but we have to book everything through a TikTok agent. There are plans, I'm sure, for TikTok to open it up to more people. I don't think they'll release their hashtag challenge to the general public for a while yet. That kind of is their main moneymaker. But I think things like top view ads and the brand takeovers, which are the ones that appear as soon as you open the app, I think eventually you'll be able to do them through the self-serve tool as well. They are really popular as well for brands. I don't know if you guys saw the little moons that went around. They went viral because they did a top view ad and then they supported it with in-feed. I mean, for me personally, I think the best approach would be to do some in-feed ads. Actually, I'd probably do a top view ad or a brand takeover ad first, one or two, and then I'd support that with some in-feed ads afterwards to continuously make sure people are seeing your ads after the main kind of big one. Don't forget though, obviously, as Ben said earlier, the costs to do these ones are extortionate.
It's one of the reasons they're not available through the self-serve tool at the moment.
Yeah, they're like thousands. So it is more cost effective to do an in-feed ad. However, like we spoke about, if you're looking for kind of that mass awareness and brand exposure, then you might want to invest in those bigger campaigns. But that's where the brand tracking really starts to kind of take consideration, and why I'd always encourage a client to make sure that they've got that in place. Do you want to do that one?
Yeah, so this is a good one. Would it work for a B2B brand, and how to use it for B2B? So yeah, I get that TikTok can feel like a bit of a funny fit for a B2B brand, but I think it's the same principle for any other brand. Find a characteristic or something about your brand that is creative and can be used authentically on TikTok, whether that might be something around your office culture. It could be, in the case of Starface I mentioned earlier, they're not a B2B brand, but their product packaging was really integral to their success, because you can have so much fun with that, creating little characters out of it and stuff. So there's going to be something you've got as a B2B brand that will work on TikTok. The really easy cop-out answer is, I mentioned lead gen ads earlier. You could always go down that route and run some lead gen adverts on TikTok, and they work much the same way as they do on Facebook or LinkedIn.
I don't know if people might not have seen it, but there was a big campaign run by Sage, I think 6-8 weeks ago. It was Sage for Business, and that was a big campaign. And they did, I mean, I don't know the results off the top of my head, but that was a B2B campaign and was really successful. I mean, I saw that bloody thing so many times, but they did a hashtag challenge, and they got their hashtag went viral. Lots of people got involved. A lot of people, like me, when you see hashtags that are popular, you just kind of stick them in to your video and kind of like piggyback off it. It does work, by the way. So that is just something else that people do as well. They kind of get involved in the hashtag, but not necessarily in that way. But yeah, that's a good one to check out, is Sage. You can probably just do a bit of a Google search and find the results for that. Okay, I've got quite a long question here, which in a nutshell is basically, should we aim for each video that contains speech in captions? So yes, I actually do this myself on my personal account. I have tested this as well to see what does better, captions or no captions. Now, my first video that went viral, which I don't know how many views, I think it's got like 5 million views now, something like that. That didn't have captions because I just posted that on a whim and then it went mental. But I have noticed since kind of posting more from that, which is a few months ago now, videos where I don't have a caption tend not to do as well. So I do personally caption all my videos, and I think if you're on it a lot, you'll probably see as well that lots of people do caption their videos. I think it's normal to do so. I mean, like when we post videos on YouTube and things like that, we always make sure there are captions. So I would say best practice, do caption a video. It can take a bit of time. Like, oh, it's a thing I dread doing. So I post my videos in the evening because that's when I get the best engagement. And before I post, I've got to go through and caption everything and set the duration. It can be a real pain in the ass. But I would recommend it for TikTok, even though it's a sound on channel, which I think is interesting, but for some reason captions seem to be better.
I think as well, it is a sound on platform, but as you mentioned earlier, tons of TikTok videos get shared everywhere else, and those other places aren't always sound on. So you're covering your back if you've got the captions on.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. We are at 12 o'clock, so I'm going to pick one more. Let's have a look. Who we got? What are your thoughts on influencer gifting on TikTok versus brand campaigns? Yeah, I've had it. So I get gifted stuff as an influencer as opposed to getting paid. I guess it's dependent on the creator if they'd rather get paid or get gifted. I mean, I don't really have any kind of like strong thoughts as to whether you should or shouldn't do it. I think it's fine to do either. I mean, as an influencer, I quite liked it. But from a brand's point of view, it's a bit more natural, I suppose. Like, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I just think they influencer gifting and brand campaigns, they should both be part of your mix if you've got the resource and budget to do both. Absolutely do both. I think with the creator marketplace and some of the costs associated with that, it can be perhaps easier than other channels to have kind of smaller kind of micro influencer campaigns, not as an always on thing, but kind of there in the background, and then use those brand campaigns for your really kind of big bang kind of shout content that you have kind of once or twice a year.
All right, I've got one more slide just to show you guys super quick, and I promise it's going to be super quick. I'm going to have to stop it there. There are a bunch that I've missed, unfortunately, so please do get in touch with us and let us know what your question is. We're more than happy to chat it through. The last thing just to say is that we do have another event series coming up starting 22nd of July, which is our digital marketing if you feel like you're faking it. Ben and I will be the hosts for this. We've got a webinar on paid social, how to get started, paid search, and SEO. So if you'd like to sign up to all three, they are all free as well. Or if you'd like to pick and choose which one to come to, you're more than welcome to just come to 1, 2, or more. So hopefully we'll see some of your faces again on these next events. But for now, thank you so much for attending today. It's been really great fun. And hopefully we'll get to speak to a few of you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.